Do you remember how overwhelming homeschooling seemed when you first started? Maybe you are still there, figuring it all out. That's why I created my new course, You Can Homeschool, now available. In this course, you'll learn everything you need to know about homeschooling. It includes 13 videos that cover everything from choosing curriculum to family routines. Above all, I'll help you homeschool purposefully and simply. Homeschooling isn't easy, but it can be simple. Welcome back to the Super Simple Homeschool Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Hedrick, and today we are going to talk about some common misconceptions about homeschooling. This is going to be fun. So if you are considering homeschooling or are new to homeschooling, you may be worried about some things, or you may hear some of these things from others who don't quite understand your decision. All right, so let's just jump right in with this common fear. Homeschoolers are weird. Okay, you know what? They are. But honestly, isn't that better? I mean, what is weird anyway? Weird because they talk freely with adults, or they like being with their parents and siblings? Weird because they have hobbies that kids in school don't have time for? Weird because they haven't yet learned that acting in certain ways is weird and they are comfortable just being who God made them to be? Then yes, homeschoolers are weird. But it really is in the best possible way. After all, if what we're seeing in the world is normal, and the things that are happening with our kids with mental health, identity confusion, if that's normal, then I will take weird any day of the week. All right, next, homeschoolers can't get into college with a homeschool diploma. Well, this is just false and another common misconception about homeschooling. In fact, many universities and colleges are seeking out homeschool graduates because they recognize that homeschoolers have better social skills and other soft skills. Wait, what? Did I just say homeschoolers have better social skills? I thought homeschoolers were weird because of lack of socialization. Nope. Turns out knowing how to interact with people outside of your age group actually improves your social skills. Homeschoolers are also known to have a more well-rounded education. They have more grit. That's actually the word that's being used in some of these articles, is that homeschoolers have more grit, more critical thinking, and ability to push through problems and solve them creatively. We're just not finding that in kids coming out of a public school system. So colleges are actually seeking out homeschoolers. And if by chance you run into a college that's having difficulty with the admissions process because of a homeschool diploma, there are many, many resources out there that you have access to help you navigate that situation. But by and by, most colleges love admitting homeschool graduates. The other thing I do want to say about this, though, is so what? Why are we so intent on sending our kids to college? I understand that there was a time and a place when college, or a college degree, was needed for a good job and good pay, and it set you apart from the rest of the crowd as far as getting a career. That's just not the case anymore. Most college graduates are graduating with loads of debt that they're never going to be able to pay off, and they're not even finding jobs in their given field. So I think another thing about homeschooling is you get the chance to teach your kids alternative types of career paths. It could be trade school or starting their own business. And as a homeschool family, you can really pursue those options. Now, if you do want to send your kid to college and they want to go to college and they're choosing a career that requires a college degree, then by all means. But don't just assume that this is the end all be all for kids today, because it really isn't. Kids that go to college aren't having better outcomes than kids who aren't. Okay, but I don't have enough time to homeschool my kids. Actually, homeschooling takes significantly less time than learning in a school setting. Think about it. Class periods are 45 minutes to an hour in school. This is because there are a lot of time spent on busy work while the teacher makes sure everyone is on the same page. In homeschool, you can cut out the busy work. Our lessons take 15 to 20 minutes each, and we're all done by lunch every day. Also, when you homeschool, you aren't limited to certain days or times. You can get school done after dinner if that's what works. You can homeschool on Saturdays or in July. Learning happens everywhere, wherever you are. There are no limits here. Okay, but homeschooling is too expensive. All right, I'll give you this one. Homeschooling is expensive. I mean, think about it. You've got breakfast, elevensies, morning tea, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, afternoon tea. You get the idea. My biggest homeschooling my biggest homeschooling expense is definitely groceries. But all jokes aside, there are also a lot of expensive curriculum out there. But the thing is, you don't have to use them. There are also free curriculum options, or you can go with no curriculum and homeschool using books from the library and videos on YouTube. Throw in a homeschool notebook for writing summaries and you're good to go. I've got a whole episode and a couple blog posts devoted to making homeschool super affordable. It is totally possible. All right, so if it's not too expensive, probably the number one without fail comment I get about homeschooling is, I don't have enough patience to homeschool my kids. This one just makes me giggle, right? Because I literally hear this so often. I can predict when someone is going to say it, and I appreciate it. I mean, at least it's honest. But really, I mean, join the club. Like, I didn't homeschool my kids because one day I woke up and I was like, man, I am the most patient person in the world. I should homeschool my kids. Yeah, no. I homeschool my kids because I think it's the right decision for my family. God called me to it. So I'm not homeschooling because I think I'm so amazing and have all the patience in the world. I don't. I really don't. In fact, I would cringe if some of you were a fly on my wall and heard my lack of patience at times. But you're not supposed to be perfect. You're not being called to homeschool because of your perfection in every area. You're being called to disciple your children, and homeschooling is one way to do that. So patience or not is not really relevant in this conversation. And this leads to the last one. I'm not blank enough to homeschool my kids. So, like we said with patience, just fill in this blank. What is it for you? Maybe you don't feel organized enough or smart enough. Whatever it is, maybe you just don't feel enough to homeschool your kids. This is a lie. I'll say that again. This is a lie, 100%. Because here's the thing. God does not call us to parenthood because we're good enough. He does not call us to anything because of our own goodness. He calls us because he wants to use us for his purpose, for his kingdom, because he can do good things, because he can make all things beautiful. Parenting and homeschooling will teach you, like nothing else, that you need Jesus. You need to depend on God to get through your day. You need to give your kids over to God and let him, the Holy Spirit, work in their lives and in their hearts to meet the purposes of your homeschool. It's not up to you. So this, I'm not blank enough to homeschool my kids, I'm not enough, this is a pride issue. It's based on the belief that you should be enough, and you're not. But you can relax because you were never meant to be enough. You need Jesus, and so do your kids. And that is one of the most powerful things that you can teach them and show them by homeschooling them. And you will learn it. Trust me. You'll learn it yourself if you go on this journey together. And that's one of the great things about homeschooling is you're not only getting a front seat to Jesus working in their lives, but you're also experiencing how he's working in your life as well. So don't worry if you're not blank enough to homeschool your kids. You're not meant to be. That's what God is for. That's why he is here. He is there to meet you with what you do have. You know, he took 5 loaves and 2 fishes and fed 5,000 people. You bring your basket of loaves and fishes every day. He takes it and multiplies it. You're not required to feed the 5,000 on your own. That's his job. Let him do it. All right, Mama, I hope this was encouraging and fun. Thank you for listening to this quick episode of the Super Simple Homeschool Podcast. I appreciate all of my listeners' support. And if you like this podcast and enjoy it, would you please share it with a friend? Or you could write a review. Reviews really help tell the platforms to share this podcast with others. Don't forget to like or follow or subscribe or whatever it is that you do on your platform so that you never miss a future episode.